Welcome back to Slay the Sector, the dirt of Belgian Waffle Ride San Diego. I'm Brian McCulloch, Big Wheel Coaching, and with my friends at Pure Gravel and Envy Composites, we're bringing you a great sector, number 11, the Modest Mule. You might remember the Mule Trail from previous edition because it was mighty. Well, why is it modest now? I'll read from the race Bible. The Modest Mule is the punctuating point where only the most mightily stubborn are able to transcend the misery. You're about ready to go into 15 kilometers of straight dirt, and guess what? It's gonna be high noon, sun is high, it's gonna be hot, no shade, no place to hide. And now we're gonna get into 3 sections of Sector 11, the Modest Mule, so that you can slay the sector. All right, so let me set the table for you here. As you come into the Modest Mule, you're gonna be thinking about, where have you come? What have you conquered? You've conquered 9 sectors of dirt, 10 sectors of dirt, 100 miles, and now you're going into familiar territory. You're starting to retrace some of your steps, come back through the San Dieguito River Park corridor, and you're doing that through the Modest Mule. It's called the Modest Mule because, well, everyone's a lot more modest at 100 miles than they are at the Mighty Mule when they're at much earlier first quarter of the race. So remember when we were doing Mighty Mule, the sand sections, we ended with the sand sections, and so now we're beginning with those sand sections here, and so we're going to be picking up speed. One thing that's going to be really important as you're 100 miles deep into this race, this is where the headwind is just ruthless. Big sand pit on our left there. Want to stay to the right of the trail. There's a very slim chance that you'll be seeing some traffic going this way as well, but you never know depending on where you're at. In the group, you could see traffic on this, be it pedestrian traffic or race traffic, you could see. So keep that in mind. All right, everybody, we're here at Modest Mule, section 1 that I want to talk to you about. Again, maybe from the camera angle, this doesn't look overly challenging, but I promise you, I'm trying to get you in the granular details of how challenging this ride is going to be. You're going to be at almost 100 miles of racing. That's a big bike ride, not to mention all the dirt we've covered previously. Now we're on the inbound segment. I want you to pay attention. Look at all this sand. We're still on two-way traffic. This is a bottleneck point. I'm showing you this choke point for a reason. The racing line is pretty obvious. It's over here, okay? I'm gonna step back just a little bit. You see where these roots are? What do roots mean? In our coaching business, we talk about terrain appreciation a lot, and here's what I wanna tell you. The roots mean water. Water means traction. Yes, please. Over here, no roots, just sand, momentum killer, okay? So the racing line is over here at the edge. That's kind of why you want those tires with a side knob like the Serac Edge from IRC, okay? Keep that in mind. So you're gonna be ripping through here, and you're gonna see it in just a moment, but we're gonna be all the way on the right edge of the trail. But it's still two-way traffic. You might be getting some wafer riders here. If you're a wafer rider here, you might be getting overtaken. Be mindful of this sand. It's so thick, literally, I buried the bike in it. The headwind here, I don't want to underestimate that for you. It is absolutely ruthless because you feel like it feels flat through here. You're going to feel like I should be going fast because you remember going fast last time, but last time it was essentially like a false downhill. Now it's like a false flat, right? It's definitely a little uphill through here, and this dirt is just a little grippy, so it just keeps your momentum and saps it. It doesn't let you build it. So it's definitely going to be one of those sections that tries your patience and is very, very challenging and taxing. Get into some quick turns here. You know, as much as you can, you want to be floating these turns, spinning easy, shifting back a gear or two just to keep the cadence nice and high. You know, look for those optimal lines. It's not always that the line of the rider right in front of you is the best line. Sometimes it's not. So keep that in mind. We're going to make a left here, and then we're back along that fence line. You remember that from the Mighty Mule video. If you haven't seen the Mighty Mule video, please go back and check it out because there's some important key topics there that we go over that are definitely worth revisiting because you're going to want to know those very early in the race. But here we are now, you know, 80 miles later into this section or into this bike race, and again, we have the agricultural, the farming on the right side, the fence line on the right side, so we're just going to be looking for, paying attention to the color of the ground, because there's going to be dark spots, that's going to be where it's hard pack, and there's light spots there, that's going to be where it's sandy. So sometimes the terrain appreciation that you're learning in these videos is going to pay big dividends for you out on trail, because the trail conditions, I guarantee you, are going to be drier and warmer and dustier on race day than they are in this video here. So don't let the smooth conditions fool you. It's going to be worse, I promise you that. So building speed through here, again, we're working for this speed though. This is not free speed. On the way out it was, on the way back you're working for it. So I hope you have legs. Hope you've been taking care of yourself, been looking after yourself by drinking well, hydrating properly, eating early, drinking often, all those things that you know and you've probably heard and read in all the cycling and coaching literature, but I feel obligated to tell you because they're foundational and very important to your success on the day. So don't underestimate those things. Take a look at the dirt coming off our tires. You can tell that we're going fast, but also that it is very dusty through here. So keep that in mind. You're going to be ripping faster here, and you can miss a pothole or you can miss some rocks, and it can be a bad news on the day. Couple landmarks for you here. That big tree, that little bit of shade here, that's probably about halfway across this fenced section of the sector. Not halfway across the actual sector, but halfway across that fence section. It goes longer than you think, right? And those mountains in the distance, take a look up over your shoulder, my shoulder on my right. You see that mountain? We are going to go beyond that. Somewhere beyond that is the roofless climb of Double Peak. So you still have a lot of heavy lifting here. We have about over 30 miles of racing left in your legs, and it's some very challenging racing because we have the climb of Double Peak ahead of us. So keep in mind, you're going to probably be barreled down, focused on the rider in front of you or focused on the trail in front of you. But right now, from the comfort of your home or the comfort of your phone, you can look at that big mountain in the distance off to our left and think, oh man, I have to go to that, around it, and then on the other side of it is Double Peak, and then I have to go up it, and then down it, and then over into North Park, North City there, where we're going to have the finishing expo and the crit cross. So very lots of heavy lifting to do, and one of the little bit of heavy lifting is we're going to come into a tight right here. Tight right, you want to keep your momentum going through here, or at least save your legs a little bit because you have a little punchy climb. All right, everybody, let's look deep into the frame here. Way out in the back, that's where we started. The dirt, this whole segment of Del Dio starts again. You're coming up, you're going really fast through the washboard trails, then you hit this climb. Again, as a standalone feature, this climb is not particularly challenging, but there's a couple of things that I want you to think about. Number one, you're going to be 100 miles into this masochistic ride when you hit this thing. So all of a sudden, everything's going to feel like a berg. Think iceberg. Bad news. This is going to be very challenging, okay? But I want you to look at these little water bars. Got a little water bar there, but this big one back there. Shift to an easy gear. Just on the edge is a little bit of salvation and some fast rolling again. This whole bike race is really about building momentum. Why? Every section, you build momentum, and then you lose it. This is one of those little bergs. Lose all your momentum, and you can lose your enthusiasm. And that's not how you slay the sector. So let's move on here, and let's figure out how to get you ripping and rocking. Definitely gonna be sweating. This is hard work to get up this thing. You're gonna use all the gears. You're again gonna go from the big chain ring down to your smallest gear, and you're gonna be trying to get up this thing as quickly as you can, as smoothly as you can, and then get back down onto the backside here and just finish out Modest Mule and be coming up on an aid station, which will be much needed, I can assure you. So quick little downhill here. This is kind of fun. I really enjoy this quick little downhill because you actually get a little break, a little bit of rest for the legs. Because remember, it's basically been all uphill up to this point. So we get a little break, a little spin, very nice. And we're getting back into that construction site. Remember that from earlier? Check that out from Sector 5, Mighty Mule. But we're getting into that construction traffic. So you want to be heads up here. Make sure there's no equipment. Make sure there's no people. There always seems to be people and hikers around this particular point. But here again, we've got construction equipment coming through. We've got a foreman here. Hey, we need to check in with him. Make sure we're doing okay. Hey, we're good to go. This, I'm 100% sure this is not going to be here on race day, but take a look at the gravel, the dirt here, right? As packed as you might think this is,
when the big equipment comes through, it pushes it all around, and so there's soft spots in it that make it a little bit, you're going fast and then all of a sudden suck up your momentum. This is a great place to drink water. We've got a little coaching tip for you there.
All right, everyone, I want to help you slay the sector, and there's a really important thing that you got to think about. It's high noon, you've had headwind for a while, it's hot. What does that mean? Hydration time, okay? Well, here's a little complication. You've been slamming and jamming across all of this dirt because you've watched these videos, you know what's coming, and you know how to grip it and rip it. Fantastic. You've been ripping in the drops, riding here, ready to rock, but guess what? There's no time to drink. How do you take your hands off and drink? Well, when you see this construction site here and all of this fencing, that's your cue. Coach Brian told me that I'm gonna ride up this hill, little downhill, and then bang, dude, I want you to drain your bottles. Why? And about 1 kilometer from where I stand is one of the best sag stops around, and you could, depending on the heat, that's your final stop all the way into the finish, okay? So when you see the construction site, I want you to grab your bottle, nice wide open road, and chug. Drain your bottle, stop at the feed zone, load up, head out, and we'll see you at the next sector.
Great place right here to build some momentum. Hopefully you've got some friends with you that have been helping you pull and will continue to help you pull, because there's a lot of heavy lifting to go. It's too soon to be going by yourself, folks. If you think you're going to Ironman this or Iron Woman this all the way to the line, that is just it's a lot of heavy lifting ahead of you. So I would hold off on that for sure. So we're going to come up here on the left. Again, take a look at the construction traffic. Construction traffic, make sure that there's nothing there. Nice wide trail, nothing to see here. Make sure you eat and drink, because we're coming up on that well-stocked aid station. And that well-stocked aid station could be like an oasis for you of much needed calories and much needed hydration after so much time in what's going to feel like a hairdryer of headwind. Left turn here, back kind of into the park area, and a little bit goofier, or I would say deeper sand than you might think. So you've just rounded that little left turn there at the construction site. Here we go, we're into the park area. We've got fencing on both sides. This is where you're going to start seeing two-way traffic. It's going to happen. There you go. You can already see there's someone out, another trail user. Give them a little wave. Hopefully they give you some encouragement, because they don't know it, but you're 100 miles into this crazy bike race. And remember, on the way out, we had a tight left that kind of we called out, and now it's a right turn, and it's the same kind of thing. There could be trail users here going right, but nice thing about the right turn is that we're on the inside line. So we're going to be nice and protected. You can go wide and then cruise inside. So this is, look, we got another trail user guys out here running right now. So always like to pass along the positivity, tell them good work. Look at that, got some dog walkers there. Got this nice tight right-hander, boom, 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 and we are seconds away from that aid station. So if you have not stopped, or if you arrive at this with not a lot of water, I would highly, highly recommend you stop and do a quick splash and go for the top off, because it's going to be hot from here on out. And it's going to just be progressively headwind, and you have some very challenging dirt that you're going to want your wits about you. So it might be a good time to grab a Monster Hydro or something that's got some caffeine in it and give you a little mental acuity boost, but maybe even a gel or something like that. So anyway, we're just finishing up here with Modest Mule. Want to thank you guys again for joining us. So excited that you guys watched this video, and I hope you liked it, and I hope you crush it on race day.
Hey, thank you so much for watching our Slay the Sector, the Dirt of BWR San Diego videos. I have to say a special shout out to our presenting sponsor, my friends at NV Composites. They're awesome. They're bike riders just like you and me. They make incredible products. They absolutely want to help you slay the sector, not just through video study, but by great products, handlebars, seat posts, wheels, the whole nine. Great stuff. Please check them out. They are awesome. Also, I want to say a high five, give a massive high five to Expedo pedals, I have the road and the mountain version, both rock. Check out the CXR. I think they're a great pedal for BWR, as well as Velo saddles. These guys, again, they're bike riders just like us, but their passion is manufacturing great saddles. Little gripper, nice wide base. I love it, okay? So please, check out our sponsors, the people that help bring this to you, because they want to help you have a great day on the bike. Please, 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 check them out. And one final note, check out puregravel.com. Why do they call it pure gravel? Because it's everything getting rowdy and having fun. It's all the best parts of gravel. Puregravel.com. They helped make this possible. They saw the vision here that wants to help you have a great time at the Belgian Waffle Ride, San Diego, Kansas, North Carolina, and Cedar City. So check out puregravel.com for all your gravel needs. They rock.